What's up everyone, it's Brian B. I'm doing a quick video. This is actually to answer a friend of mine who is thinking of opening a business. He sent me a list of 5 or 6 questions and I thought I would answer his questions in video format since we're having a tough time getting together. And then number 2, this would serve as like a go-to guide for anyone who's interested in starting a business. So it might ramble just a little bit, but his questions are right here. I've got them on my phone. Number 1 was, what was the biggest surprise in starting my own business? And I think there's tons of surprises. 11 years into my own studio, I'm always learning something new, but I would say do enough basic homework to begin with that there are no major surprises. So by doing a business plan and budgeting, worrying about marketing and customer retention and the rules and regulations of your physical space and the permits and everything you need, doing all that homework well in advance of opening up it would keep and minimize the mistake or the surprises in the beginning. So no major surprises for me. There's always something to learn, but I would recommend that there be no major surprises for you. Number 2, what was my biggest mistake? If I had one regret, it's that I would have, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. And by doing some things a little bit that I know now and doing those things better when I opened would have allowed me to capitalize on all that new exposure. So when you are very first open as a business, you are going to get quite a bit of attention. If you do things right during that time period, you get a lot of free advertising, a lot of positive press, and things will go your way. If you do things wrong during that time period, it's very difficult to recover. You have to wait an entire lifetime cycle of customers before people forget that your food was bad or that your building was terrible, your customer service was bad, or you didn't understand how to produce your good or service. So biggest regret or biggest mistake that I made is not taking advantage of that very first impression. Number 3, what saved me? I bootstrapped everything, so I was never in debt, and so a lot of people will think, well, I have to lose money for a period of time before I make money, and I'm personally not a big believer of that unless you have a big pocketbook or a purse or a bank account. So I would actually, what saved me was that I was never in debt and I was always able to pay my bills. I've always looked at my business as something that had to make money and pay me, never something that I worked in for free. So because of that, and because we were always profitable, even though we're making mistakes, we're still paying our bills and we're still a profitable business. So staying profitable and treating your business like a business, not a hobby, is what saved me. Number 4, what's the best way to advertise and what have you noticed that's gotten the most students? 2 answers to this question. Number 1, if you don't understand lifetime customer value and how to maximize the profit of your customers and take care of them over a long period of time, then dumping students in the top end is not going to be very profitable. So if you have a back-end sales process in order and you know what your customers are worth to you over a lifetime, then you know how much you can spend to acquire them. So if you've never heard anything about lifetime customer value, you can ask me, you can Google it, you can look it up, but understanding that's number 1. Number 2, without going into dirty details, I think it's good to have several different ways to attract customers in several different platforms. So using a systemized referral program is good. Using some contests are good. Those are local in-house, they don't really cost you anything. So having multiple ways to do that within your business without even advertising is fantastic. Then outside of that, I think that using the web effectively, both for paid advertising, Google AdWords, Facebook advertising, free social media, search engine optimization, having an optimized website, all that stuff working synergistically matters. So if you don't have something going, maybe 2 to 3 in-house programs and 2 to 3 programs outside of your business to attract new people, and then a sales process, understanding your lifetime customer value, then you might be in trouble because there is no magic bullet. Not one single one of those will support your business. You have to have all of them together working synergistically, and it will provide you with a bunch of new leads and a great way to attract business. Number 5, if you were to do it again, what would you do differently? Like I said, I would have not blown the first impression. So I see businesses now that get a lot of write-ups in the paper and get a lot of press and hey, they're opening, and during that process they're not capturing leads and they're not giving people a reason to come by their establishment. and then when they come by for the first time, they're not doing a fantastic job because they're still new and the business isn't doing a great job yet. I would make sure that I was going to do a good job before I opened the doors. And while I was in that press phase where people are paying attention to me and they're peeking through the windows and they know we're going to open, I would be doing some sort of promotion to capture email addresses, to capture contacts, to offer people a free trial, to offer people a limited time discount. I would not miss that opportunity when there's buzz going on. So if I were to do it again, I would do all that stuff right from the jump. And then number 6 kind of dovetails into something I talked about before. The question is, how do you bill? Are there any particular software? I personally didn't take credit cards early in the first several years of my business, which was dumb. But using a platform that you, number one, can actually use and utilize. So if it's too difficult and there's too many bells and whistles and you get stuck and you don't want to use it, it's easier just to take cash or a check because you're uncomfortable with the process, I would find something that works well and easily. So there's a lot of options with a company called Stripe, there's PayPal, there's Square, there's a lot of really easy systems which in the beginning will get us up and running, and then later on you want to get something that will manage your not only your payments but reoccurring payments and sales and stuff like that. So we use something called MindBody, but there's there's different ones for different styles of businesses. So I would do a little homework in that area. Specifically what I did, anytime I used a tool for my business, I went out and researched at least 5 different options, put a wish list of what the tool needed to do for me, and then I looked at those 5 options, figured out which one was best for me, most affordable, and I went ahead and used it. So hopefully you guys found this useful and interesting. If you're interested in starting your own business, these are some good questions. And so yeah, check out my YouTube channel. We've got a lot more cool, relevant information if you're interested in starting some sort of a small business, especially using online advertising. So hope you guys are having a great day, and we'll see you again soon. Hey, it's Brian B again. As I was reviewing this video, I wanted to interject something when it came to the question of, what's the biggest mistake that I made, or what would I do differently if I had it to do again? And by far, really, the thing that's been the most successful for me moving forward in my businesses has been actually hiring consultants and paying smart people to give me advice and then following their advice to a T right from the get-go. So I am now into 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 or 6 different consultants that have paid a good deal of money, and every single one of those consultants I have learned something that has paid me over and over and over again, even though I'm done with actually hiring them. So I would say paying for a mentor, or not even paying, but having a mentor, paying for a mentor, and using their advice and listening to them, even if you don't think what they're saying is correct. If they have a proven track record, they know what they're doing, and they might know something you don't know, and following their advice would be very valuable. So if there's one thing that I would recommend anyone do in the starting a new business or trying to grow their business, it would be to find a consultant or a mentor and work hand in hand with them.